Aloha, everyone, and let us welcome Rick Pomer, aka Madam Clara, and Lisa Santine. Thank you guys for being here. I see there's 2 watchers, but there's no comments. I'm not sure who's watching. We will just get started, I guess, and say hello as people come in. So, Madam Clara has multiple decks. This was the first one. Madam Clara sees all tarot. Then I think it was the Centennial that came next. Is that right?
Centennial was next, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then 5 Cent. This is the second edition. First edition, then second edition. I have the first edition upstairs. And then finally that 2 Penny Oracle.
2 Penny Oracle, exactly.
I love it.
Lisa.
I love your pouches.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of become a thing now. So.
I love it.
You're known for it, aren't you?
I've never known it. I know your decks. I don't know your pouch. That's so funny. Okay. Nice to know.
And then Lisa first came out with the Destiny deck, followed by the Heroic Treasury, and the 2 versions of the Lucine, the Midnight and the Twilight.
Yay. Oh my gosh. You are so good. You have everything. Is it?
Amazing.
Isn't Jonathan
Well, and the funny thing is all of them are Kickstarters. This one I did have to, pre-order because that last Kickstarter that you did didn't quite make it.
We can talk about that today.
Yeah. So, we do have some people. Aloha, Chris of Elemental Cartomancy, and Laura, Backyard Naturalist Tarot. Aloha. And Gerald, Tarot Stash. Howdy, everyone. I can't stay, but I wanted to pop in and say hi. Remember, tell Rick, Gerald, and Jonathan sent you.
I get quite a few of those. Thank you.
Yeah. So today we're really here to talk about what it takes to actually have a Kickstarter. Not just have one, but also get things printed and sent out, the whole thing. So let's just start with getting started with a Kickstarter. I think, Rick, you have a little more experience under your belt. So have you noticed any difference since you began with Kickstarter and now?
Yeah, I actually had no idea what I was doing, of course, in the first one. In fact, I can't remember if I did Kickstarter first or Indiegogo. I don't remember. One of them failed. It was sort of like I'm a terrible researcher, so I was just like, let's do it. And I kind of jumped in, didn't really know what the hell I was doing. The little amount of research I did, and I do recommend this for anyone, is to look at other campaigns. Just look, they stay live after they're fulfilled. So you can actually sort by the most successful or things that you feel like are sort of like your project, and really dive into them and look at what kind of interactivity there was, what kind of engagement, how many updates they did. It's really helpful to see, you can see patterns on what maybe makes something successful. Some of those I actually ignored consciously because I didn't want to connect a face to any of my decks. It was always Madame Clara, the mystery. So I've never put myself out there. But I do think that is one of the things that is an ingredient for a successful campaign. It just happened to not work for me. So there still was a character. So that was there. It wasn't a completely soulless whatever. It had a point of view. And I think you need to start there. So I knew that wouldn't work for me, but I still had a face. It just wasn't me.
Right.
But I do think that if that's not one of your barriers, definitely put your face, your story in the campaign. That is a pattern that absolutely helps things rise to the top. Because what you're doing is you're building trust in a community. And that's the thing that I think through the campaigns I've been somewhat successful in building. Because for me, it was about making it engaging for the community, right? So I didn't have everything figured out, and I was honest about that. I said 85% ready. We're going to do this in 30 days, but I'm going to bring you along for the ride, and you're going to help me make some of these decisions. Because guess what? I don't know. I'm not sure what the best color or colors or multiple colors are going to be what I want, and I actually want to deliver on that. And it's not going to affect my design. Some things would, but I wanted it to feel interactive. And I think that was successful because people, after they catch on, oh, I can make a comment, and next update, I actually see that you tried that out. I can see what it looks like, even if it sucks. You know, here it is. You guys asked for gray. It actually doesn't work. But what do you think about these other colors? So I think having something that is alive and having a plan for that is really important. So to not only have an idea of, because if it's 30 days, because that's the recommended, right?
Right.
Goes by really fast. And if you're not ready for it, even just mentally, it probably will. It may fail because you're not going to be ready with the pace of, oh my God, there's only a week and a half left, and I have to make up all of this and, you know, come up with things. Even if you don't have it ready, have a plan in your mind. I think I'll post maybe a couple times a week, or is it every day, or is that too much? Be ready for it. Have some assets ready that you can deploy, even if you're busy with the rest of your life.
Right.
Because 30 days, we all know it. It's a snap.
It goes by so fast.
It is a snap, for sure. But I do recommend the first bit of research is looking at like campaigns, things that you actually have looked at and backed, and see what did you like about them. There's no formula, right?
Right. Well, and Lisa, you were the opposite because your face was out there, your backstory was there. Like you engaged completely. There was no barrier between us and you.
That's so funny. Yes, it's true. And I'm not someone who's very public about my life. And so that was the hardest thing, especially because, you know, my family didn't know what I was doing, and a lot of my close friends, and I didn't know how well I would be received. So I had created Lisa Santine, the Instagram account, kind of in private because I didn't want anyone else to know about it. And then when I created the tarot, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let my family and friends know. And they were so supportive, which was amazing. But I think Rick said it's exactly right. I think it's tell your story because someone out there is going to resonate with your story.
Right.
Did I lose you?
No, you're still here. I still see you.
I think I might have lost someone.
No.
Are you both there?
Yeah. Yep.
We're here.
Yep.
You having internet issues, maybe? You're still here. We can still see you and hear you. Oh, then she froze.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh no.
Oh, no, there she goes. She might need to go out, come back in.
Yeah, probably.
I'll text her real quick. There. Okay.
Well, I can keep going if wait for her to
come. The next question I have is, how is it you draw attention to your project once it's live?
So that is something that is a huge mystery on how to actually do that best, because what invariably will happen is the minute you launch that, you're like a magnet for all of these emails to start coming in targeted to you as a seller who's launched a project saying, I can help you we can get this going in 2 minutes, proven this, proven that. And I actually did a few times invest in that in a small way. And I don't know that it actually paid off. I don't know the formula for success on that, but I do think that getting the low budget and probably more effective version of that is getting into, if you're already part of tarot communities, either on Facebook or elsewhere, getting it out there that way. Your own socials. Lisa said it. She's got this family who didn't know about it, but then did and were supportive. Get it out to everyone you know. Let them share it, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, Kickstarter itself is she in?
Yeah.
She's in. Okay, cool.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what is going on. Was it
There's always technical
each other?
Okay.
Technology.
I don't know if I don't want to cut you off, Rick. Am I okay?
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying about the Kickstarter. I think the most important thing is really do not be afraid to tell your story and show who you really are. And because, like I said, you will resonate with someone. And the more people you resonate with, then you start to build this community of people who, everyone doesn't have to be like-minded or the same or whatever, but people who kind of have a similarity and an interest. And for me, everyone I connected with is amazing. They're like Jonathan, like they're a bunch of Jonathans, like they're just, I don't know. It's this amazing, beautiful community. And then you get addicted to it.
You have a shout out, Lisa.
I do.
Let's see. Deanne, Blue Crescent Tarot says, very sadly can't say because I have guests, but I had to say I love you all. Shout out to Lisa for all the help and emails regarding like Kickstarter videos.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love her card. That's the thing. See, it's that I am the biggest fan of anybody who wants to create. I will be your biggest cheerleader, right, Rick? That's why, Jonathan, I'm like, you have an idea, you get that thing out there. Do not. Mm-hmm. You have a fabulous idea.
Both of you are very good cheerleaders.
Yes, you have to get it out there. And I am the biggest fan of that. I will tell you because, and I don't keep any secrets. I'll tell you who I used. I'll tell you all of this because the more we do that, the more we give, the more, there's so much abundance out there that we have to help each other.
Absolutely. I've had so many creators reach out to me and say, hey, I really like your cardstock. Who are you using? And well, that one was printed with someone who I really liked and trusted, but then they failed in this way, but maybe they'll be fine for you. You have to be not only honest with your peers in that respect, but back to the Kickstarters and what makes something successful. I think honesty and transparency is probably the number one thing to that community. So because you hit pitfalls along the way, always. And if you just say, look, there's a pandemic and you're not going to get these cards for 9 months or whatever, just tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something that both of you do that I really appreciated. Is both of you are very good about keeping the backers informed about every step along the way.
That's right.
Because I've done some Kickstarters where it's you get maybe 3 updates total, and you're just what's going on?
Is this real?
Yeah, exactly. You want to know that there's a living, breathing soul behind that, and you're not only supporting, you're not only falling in love with the cards and the design and it's really the person and the energy of the person, right? And so that's so important. And like Rick said, if there's a 9-month delay or whatever, most people are understanding because we're not trying to delay it. We want it just as badly as you do. So we're going to tell you. The worst is when we do know, okay, it's been shipped and I see it and it's going to arrive in 2 days, but it's like a week passes and there's nothing we can do, right? Like I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
I know it's so hard. I'm so many times like I know it's there. I know it's in the post office, but I'll send out another one because I feel so badly.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, and I love when you like spend extra money to like get it expedited and it still takes forever.
I was like, what is going on? It's right there. I don't understand it. I shipped it priority 2 days.
I know, priority from LA to Maui. So it should not have taken, it went to Illinois.
It was crazy.
It went all over the place before it got to me.
And you were the very first person who was supposed to, Jonathan was the very first and he was not the first. Like, he was the first one who was supposed to get it.
It was so bad.
So many horror stories with the post.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what we were talking when you came in, Lisa, was I had asked Rick about how do you draw attention to your project?
Good question.
Yeah, so I started to say, you can use all those or hundreds of people who fill your inbox with, I can boost your campaign and all this, give me funds. I did a couple of those, but I do think, Lisa, something that you said is your friends and your support system are also your marketers, the co-marketers, right? Like sharing in social, all of these tarot communities, all of that is really important to keeping it fresh. And even if you think, I just posted this 2 days ago, well, it's only 30 days. So you have to, there's an algorithm. People are not seeing it, even if you put it out there. Yeah. So if you use Instagram, boost your own post. That actually is very helpful. That works better than, I think, some of these offers that come in. I can do this, I can do that. And by the time they're done sort of putting it together, you're halfway through the campaign. And I don't know. I don't subscribe to it, but I'm sure there are really good ones. The reason I use Kickstarter is it is its own marketing platform. It has a built-in audience, right? There are people going there daily, weekly to see what's new in tarot. So it's built in, and that's why I happen to use it, because I know I can launch something and there's an audience right away.
Right.
Really important.
Everything Rick said is right on. I agree with you. You will get many, many, many people filling your inbox saying, I can, for a very low amount of money, I can do this, or even sometimes a high amount of money. I also did not subscribe. I think one time I did, it was so minimal, but I know that I didn't get any traction from that, because on the back end, and I don't know if you took advantage of this, Rick, but you can put in, like, if you want Rick to send out emails, let's say, with a link on the back end of Kickstarter, I could say Rick's link and send you that link. And then I could see who is coming from you.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I did that with a couple Facebook ads and things like that. And I got a lot of traction from Facebook at the time. Now, during the pandemic, and I don't know if you took advantage of this, but in March of I launched in June of 2020, Facebook ads were very inexpensive. And they were really, really pushing and marketing for the people. So I think that I lucked out on that end. And I got many, many, many people from Facebook from those ads. I think now it's not as inexpensive. I think it's a little bit more pricey. And I think it takes a lot more to get the Facebook ads going, or Instagram, right?
It definitely does. And of course, like, TikTok is a new thing that I'm just starting to dip my toe in. And like, it's a lot, right? Like, I've got nothing in there, but I do know that that's where, people are, they're sitting on the couch, just mindlessly scrolling through things.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. I know. Yeah. So that's one. That's really, really good. The Facebook. I mean, don't buy into the I can make you millions kind of.
No.
However, I do know that some people like, I don't know if you followed the Alleyman's Tarot.
Oh, their ads were everywhere.
Actually in it.
Yes, I'm in. Are you? Is your card in it?
Both of you are in it.
Yeah. So I know that they did hire people and spent a lot of money.
Sure.
Did you? Yeah, they and made money, but in the end, the net was similar. I don't know if you noticed.
Well, it was a really expensive undertaking.
Yes.
Really, really expensive, and I don't think they realized that going in.
Yes.
Production-wise.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I mean, there's no get rich quick.
No.
You know, we're printing cards, right? Like,
Right.
it isn't like a variation of that that's so much better and more than anything else. You're gonna benefit from having a solid idea, you know, that people want, and then just getting the word out. That's all.
Yeah. The next question I have, either one can answer, is what do you do to include backers? I mean, I know you ask questions. I know Rick asked about the colors and stuff. And I know, Lisa, you're always like sending messages to every single person.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You think I have like twiddle my thumbs and all I do is.
That's impressive.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I think I'm going to hire a robot in the future. Just send out messages and make it sound like me. It's really hard, but it's engaging and it's really a really great way to connect. But how do you, Rick, do you want to answer that? I
have lots of ways that I do it, but if you want to go ahead and I'll follow up.
Well, I was just saying, I think it's the same way. Well, what Rick kind of mentioned earlier is asking, okay, well, what do you think is a great name for my next tarot? Or what would you like to see on this next, whatever it is? So asking questions, and I think that's the most important is creating the updates consistently. And through the updates, I think more and more people connect with you. And then once you form those connections and you can ask questions, people feel comfortable responding. I think that's primarily it. I have seen some creators do things like, I can include you in my card design of some sort, and which is great. It's just, I don't know how you work, Rick, but I typically, my cards are all done. Like I have my next, everything's done. It's it is like at the production company.
No, I'm not there. I'm usually, I leave a few things like colors and backs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the 78 to 82 cards are pretty much done. Maybe there's a few of them still working on, but
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how do you?
So there's lots. I mean, like you said, Jonathan, like the color choices is an easy one. Like, hey, I'm still working on the backs. What do you think about these 6 designs? Let's vote. I think it's important to remember that, you know, the message platform is one thing, and to be responsive and to be a good human with that. Don't let it sit. Answer it as quickly as possible. Just be a good human.
Yeah.
But also recognize when you do these updates and you're having something that asks a question or even doesn't, comments go in there. Those are not on the message platform. And be responsive to those almost more importantly, because that's, everyone can see
the world sees it.
Right. Everyone can see where you're, you know, if someone said something there, maybe my next update, I said, you know what, Lisa mentioned that she'd like to see spread cloths as one of the stretch goals. What do you guys think about these, or what are other ideas? And then, you know, then you're really engaging people, because you're you don't have to mention the person, but you can say, some of you said X, and it makes it alive. It's a living, breathing campaign, which is what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, an ad from Walmart. We're working on this together. We're bringing it to.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful thing. And yes, and you're reminding me of that. You're right, because that's what Kickstarter is. It's like these
what it
people backing you because they believe in you. And so they
That's right.
want to be part of it too.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. One thing about the comment thing, and I don't know if you've, so it is important to keep up with the comments. So you have your messages and they go into your message inbox.
Yep.
You have your update and someone might comment and that's in the update comment. Then you have your main campaign comment and that goes. So what's difficult is we have to keep up with 3 different areas, right? Where people either send a message or comment, as well as if they DM you on Instagram, Facebook, or email you. So we have really like 6 areas. And so I'll get a message on my phone saying, Rick made a comment or message. I don't even know what. Rick. I noticed Rick and I'm like, oh, Rick is asking me a question or messaging me. So I go in my messages. Okay, I don't see it there. I go in update. It's not there.
You have to hunt for it.
So you have to be on top of, as a creator, you really have to be organized, right? With that.
Yeah. It's something that Kickstarter should actually fix. It's a big enough problem, you know, like you're not consciously ghosting someone.
Yes.
You know, you could actually be like you just said, I know that I'm looking for this, but I can't find it. And I looked in all 5 places.
Yes.
Like, where is it?
Yeah. And I've mentioned, because have you had like one-on-ones with the Kickstarter? Like they'll say, oh, can we ask you some questions? And then you have a meeting. No. I've had a couple of those, you know, for what? Which I was so happy for not rewards, for the, what do you call it? The extra.
The
bonus.
Oh, the add-ons?
The add-ons. Yeah.
Not the add-ons.
It was pre-add-on that they did some beta testing, pre-beta testing.
Okay.
And so I had like a 1 hour, they said, we would like to interview you. Okay. So we had a Zoom, and I did mention that. And the person was like, you know what, we're totally working on this. We know. And I'm like, so I'm waiting for that to get fixed. It hasn't gotten fixed yet.
All they would have to do is make sure the comments go to your inbox.
Yes. Right?
And then if you comment on your inbox, it should just pop up in the comments.
Yes.
Right.
Is what they should do. Then you just go to one spot.
It's pretty simple.
I wish. Yeah, I know. I've always
wanted. It would be nice if they had like that, the message center. Then you have one folder for messages, one folder for comments, one folder for update comments.
Right. Yep. That's exactly. See, you got it. Yeah. So like Rick said, we're not intentionally ghosting you. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find you.
Right. Well, I just have to say, from personal experience, both of you are really good at just like getting back pretty quickly.
That's nice.
It's one of the pet peeves, you know, people that just are not responsive.
Me too.
It's excusable in some cases, but you know, come on, just answer.
Yeah. But Rick, also, like, you have previous Kickstarter campaigns, right? So I get messages still on one like 2 generations ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I got 2 this week from campaigns that were like 2-3 years ago, and all that information is archived. You can't go back in. You have to actually request access.
Oh my God.
Kickstarter to see any details. And it's whatever. It's annoying, but of course you do it. Like, you didn't get it? Why haven't you reached out until now?
Right. Exactly.
Why did you wait 3 years?
I don't even have that anymore.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I guess that brings us to the next question. What happens once the Kickstarter project ends or gets funded? I should say.
It's so sad. It's so hard. It's like giving birth. It's like the pregnancy. Like, I've given birth twice, right? And so it's so sad as I'm like, oh, I don't feel the baby anymore kicking. It's like that. It's like a little bit sad, but exciting still.
It's true. I mean, for me, I've never given birth, but I've given birth to a couple of Kickstarters. I learned in my first one that there are lots of people who are like, "Ah, damn, I missed it. I was going to do it, blah, 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 blah." So I've learned to kick everything, like immediately have that link ready for my Etsy shop for pre-orders.
Yeah.
So that if there is someone that's like, I thought it was ending tonight, not at noon, okay, I can just click here. I'll get all the same stuff. I try to do that,
Yeah.
all the rewards, through the next 3 months or whatever. It's as if you're a backer. And I think people appreciate that because, people aren't on your timeline, they might have just tagged it, but then 30 days is 30 days. It's over, and you want to give them an opportunity for that. But it really is, for me, I know all of your stuff is usually already in production, but to me, it's sort of like that real, this is just the beginning. Like, okay, clean everything up, get everything in order, and keep it going. You can't stop communicating.
Yeah.
You have to actually keep it going. Like, and tell people when you're going to be a little bit silent for a while. Okay, I'll let you know when there's production updates, or even say hi, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Tell
been a while.
Yeah.
Well, even like tell them what book you're like. So one of my production companies, I've since switched, but they gave me some great pointers. They're like, you know what? Just go on there and tell them what you've been. Tell them about your pet, or just let them know you're human.
Yep, exactly that. Which I didn't do, but I did it through the mystery of a character.
I love that. I love
Right,
that.
but Rick, you still are very in there. You're still communicating via comments and updates and everything. So.
And that is you, like that.
It's
a part of you. That's still you. Yeah. So that's important. Whether it's a character, whether it's whatever.
We've all backed campaigns where it ends and it feels like it really ended, and you're not sure if you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have had a few of those.
Yeah.
Am I going to get this ever?
Where just like crickets.
Yes.
And then suddenly you get a package in the mail. You're like, what's this? That's happened to me before, where I backed the Kickstarter. Once it ended, there was no communication at all. Zero. Oh. And then it was delayed somehow, but there was no communication. No one knew what was going on. It was supposed to have already arrived several months ago. Nothing. And I see comments. When are we getting an update?
Oh.
Nothing. And then suddenly it's it shows up in mail and it's subpar.
Oh. That's my biggest fear, that people would keep emailing me or whatever, messaging, commenting, and I'm not responding. If I don't, I often go in there and I'm like, did anyone comment? Did I miss anything? It's right? Like you.
Right.
It's easy to miss stuff too. Very easy.
Very easy. Yeah. But I do see a comment. So Joan made this one comment here saying, and because I also have an Etsy shop, and Rick, maybe you know better than I do. It says, can I ask about Kickstarter fees? Are they less than Etsy fees? And maybe you can tell me that too, because I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I think it's probably different for different sellers, right? If you're a this level seller on Etsy, your sort of business numbers are a little bit different than someone who only sells, this amount.
Oh.
So it kind of depends on that, I'm sure. And then Etsy, I just did, of course, this month, right? They upped their fees.
Yes. Yeah.
And I choose to, because I like being there, and it is good for me. I choose to ignore some of the negative, what the hell, where the money? I agree with it, but it's fine. I'm doing well on it, and yes, if it keeps going up every 2 months or something, then I'll tap in, or if someone asks me. But I'm not going to be this like activist against Etsy because it's a really good platform.
I agree 100%, and of course, I'm annoyed at the fees, just like I'm annoyed at gas prices and whatever.
Right.
But everything is like, I understand, for instance, like when I ship, let's say to Europe, like I have to pay a bunch of dollars more, but I'm not going to raise my shipping.
Right.
However, if I did raise my shipping, it's not against that person. It's literally just to offset, like, because I'm paying to ship.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going on behind Etsy, so I cannot protest that if I don't know. Yeah, it's annoying, but at the same time, they've been good to us, right? Like So.
And I've heard it from both directions. I know people who have stores in there. Some are like all about the boycott. And others are like, please don't boycott because that's my only income.
Yes. And I'm a big supporter of that because that is some people's only income.
Yep.
Right. It's got to be smart about who you're buying from, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it used to be small business, and now they're letting the big guys come in with like mass-produced stuff.
Right.
So,
right.
And I think that's where the big disconnect is.
And you're right about that. Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
So how did you guys go about looking for a printer? How did you find your printer?
You go first.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, my first printer, I was always a fan of Kickstarter, and that's another thing. Also, as a creator, it's important to support other creators. I'm just saying that. But so I was always a fan of Kickstarter, and I did see this one company, and I knew nothing about production at all. And I did try hard to produce in my backyard in Los Angeles. Like here, I'm a big supporter of supporting all the businesses around me as much as I can. However, there's some things that we can't do here in the U.S. that we have to do from outside. And so I found a company who was a small production company in China, and they were. And again, I wasn't looking for like all female owned, all this, but they were a company of all women. Like they brought their pets to work. It was a they all went to lunch together. Like I connected with these people. I was friends with them. They would go to lunch and Skype with me, and I would be at lunch with them, and they weren't wearing masks. And I'm like, wait, we're stuck in our house. Wait, what are you guys doing eating lunch together? Things were better over there at the time. But I'm like, it was my way out. And because we were cooped up at home, if you remember. And so it was, and I said, I want you guys to produce my cards. So they were my card producers. Now they were very expensive, like very, very expensive. So since then I did find another production company, and they're fabulous. But I do, and it's again, a bunch of people who I connect with, and they tell me their stories. They tell me about their boyfriends, about whatever. It's great. I love it. And so, again, I just did my research through Kickstarter. I found that production company through Kickstarter, and I don't know. It's not very exciting story, but that's how I.
Yeah, no, it's sort of the same for me. Like my first one was a fail, and it was like, I tried everything you said is right. It doesn't exist here. Like. Yeah. Unless you're gonna production pay like $100 a deck,
Oh yeah,
whatever. So you do, like, that's the harsh reality. And I hope that changes at some point, because we all try and we want to do it, but then you can't. So that first deck was a bit of it was a strange scenario. I found this company. I was like, okay, whatever. And it was all very just like soulless email I'll send you a picture. Like it wasn't good and the output wasn't great, but it was my first. But since then, I had gone and I used her for many years, and I just switched recently. But there's a creator who worked at a company, actually one of the first ones that I worked with, that then started her own because she actually is a tarot creator.
Yeah.
So she's an enthusiast, a creator herself. She created the Wheel of Fortune Tarot, so that's all on Kickstarter. So she understood all the questions and things that I would want or could
That's
suggest.
who I went with. That's who I.
Yes. So that's Ivy, right? So she's great. And she just understood all the things that I might want. It just wasn't a deal to get something done and shipped out. It was more like, well, these finishes you might like for whatever. And sometimes she didn't understand what I wanted, but there was a person there that actually was interested in, she was in the community of tarot, right? So she understood what might actually be cool or upscale or elevated or all those things that you want to offer. So I do recommend that, finding someone who doesn't just say, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
More like, yes, we do that. It's actually the main thing that we do because we're interested in it.
Yes.
That's way more. And it doesn't matter where they are on the planet. That's more important for sure.
Yeah. I agree. Yep.
Okay. So once the decks are printed, what's entailed in mailing out all those hundreds of decks?
Do you work with a fulfillment company?
I don't, and I think I probably every time I don't, I think, what the hell am I doing? But I think because I'm afraid, I always thought, well, that works if you're just sending out this one thing and they're all the same and whatever. But my campaigns have always been like, oh, there's 6 colors and there's 2 colors of pouches and those from a different manufacturer. And like, I added these add-ons and you want one, you don't.
Complicated.
I don't know how that's what they do. They probably would be like, yeah, we could do that. But I never trusted that it would happen properly. And then I sort of thought there's just going to be a lot more problems. I can do this. Let me just be efficient. The number one thing, if you're going to do it on your own, I think, is to at least have like a ShipStation account or something like that. And very important, one of those label printers.
Yes, that's also true.
That alone was the life-changing thing from one campaign to another. Because prior to that, I was printing on an inkjet printer, cutting out labels, typing them on. No, just get the $150 Rollo printer and your life will be changed forever. Amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I actually, so I do work with a fulfillment company, and I will say somehow it does make my life easier. But I also, this last campaign, I decided, because I did have a lot of add-ons and things like that, I decided I will also be a fulfillment company on this end. So 2 separate things. Regarding a fulfillment company, yes, it does make your life easier, but you have to make sure that they do keep track. And so everything has to have a SKU, and each SKU costs money, like to print, and so that you have to think of that expense as well. Like, let's say if I want this art print, that has to have a SKU, and each SKU is 20 cents. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up if you have 10 different art prints. And then if I'm sending these crystals, it has to have a SKU. First of all, to purchase the SKU is a lot. All those SKUs is hundreds of dollars, as well as each one is 20 cents. So every time you mail out, on top of everything else. So like all of this, as long as you know that expense up front, then you can do that. So that is one direction, but I also did it on my end as well. So I have my international, I call it, shipments that they do, and then my domestic ones that I do. It is a lot of work, but like you said, it's important to have an account with a shipping. Like I use XPS Shipper. I'm a big fan. A scale is always important. Having a really good relationship with the post office. I go in there and they all know me. And I could be like, gosh, you guys charge that much? I could get it for this much. We get a discounted rate, right? And then, so yeah, you have to learn, to have a business person from the postal office is also helpful because you could just call and ask questions. So all of this is, and you learn, like Rick and I weren't born knowing it.
Right.
Exactly.
You weren't born knowing it.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted this conversation, just to give people a leg up in a way.
Yeah.
You do have to be prepared for the onslaught, right? Because when they arrive, there's that adrenaline rush to get all these boxes out of your living room, if that's what's happening. Or just to get that peace of mind that, all right, let's say there's 500 orders or something. Give yourself, like, I'm going to do this within 7 days or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly
the way at it. And get help from family or whatever. Like, have a system.
Yep.
Whatever it may be.
It's, you can have a fulfillment party. Make sure they're not drinking too much because you really need to focus.
You don't want really bad mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of, where do you guys go to look for solutions when something does go wrong?
These are good questions. Okay. Me personally, so when something does go wrong, so we've had a lot of things go wrong. I mean, I don't even know what Rick has encountered, but I know that there's a lot that has been gone wrong. First and foremost, the most important thing is I just want the customer to be happy. Like that's really, and I come from a service-oriented background. I'm very much about service in every way, in philanthropy, in my business, in architecture and interiors. Like it's all about service. And I love it. It's what I'm here to do. And so in the end, I just want the customer to be happy first, and then I'll work backwards. Okay, this shipment is going to cost me $100 more than I imagined. Get it out there, and then I'll figure it out. So there's no solution that cannot be worked out. Not one solution. Go with the twists and turns. Like for instance, on my first deck, I was going to do, these are just technical terms like CMYK printing and CMYK metallic on top of gold foil, but you can't have CMYK metallic on that velvety finish. So I was devastated. It's really not a big deal.
It's not.
Right. It is not a big deal. I was devastated for like 2 days. Then I'm like, you know what? I made the decision. I don't need CMYK metallic.
No.
I can find an alternative.
You do have to roll with it for sure. Like it does go back to that transparency. Tell people the minute you know that something has gone left, right? Yes. Like, and that's actually what happened with the 2-penny Oracle when, they were supposed to be copper edges all along. And then all of a sudden, and I didn't even notice it when they sent me the pictures of the edges. They were lavender, and I'm like, oh, it looks great, because we were all at the same time printing the 5-cent tarot lavender, and it just didn't click until a day later. I'm like, and I went cold. Because it was like they're done, and I'm like, where did the lavender come from? I never. So. And I was angry and all those things, but like I immediately went to Kickstarter and said, here's what happened. Everything out on the line, full honesty. This is what happened. And here are the solutions that I have. I'm going to ask them to print the copper as planned, but it's going to take like 3 more months. We've already waited forever. The lavender's ready. I'm paying for it. I'm going to bring them in. Does anyone like them? If you like them, Can I tell you that half the people were like, actually, I prefer that.
Wow.
That's really great. Mm-hmm. The other half, or I would say almost the other half, was like, I'll totally wait for copper. A few of them switched to the graphite color. there might have been one person that was like, I'm going to cancel. Fine, you can cancel. That was one of my options.
Right.
Just offer solutions for everyone
Mhm.
and just be realistic. But again, transparency. This happened. I didn't plan for it to happen.
100%.
Here's where we are. What do you
Right.
think? That's all.
This is where we are. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yep.
exactly. I think one of the this is something, one of the most devastating things that happened to me, and this is something that everybody needs to be aware of, is when we send, when we are in production internationally. Oh, that's nice. She friggin' loves it. When we work internationally, we have to wire money. And one time, the account from the other side was hacked. Did that happen to you too?
No,
Oh.
but it makes you nervous. All of this financial stuff, traveling is yes.
It's really nerve-wracking. So I really was out. I lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and I was devastated. It came from the production end. Again, what did I do? I mean, I don't want my production to be halted. So I sent money again. Okay. I know so far I'm out like a lot of money.
Yep.
I contacted my bank. I have a very close relationship with my bank. I always wire money from the same person with the same person. So he knows me well. And I'm like, I need help getting this wire back. He's like, it's international. Chances are you won't get it, but we'll work. 3 months later, they were able to get it back. That's kind of a miracle. But
Wow.
long story short, I was out like a lot of money in the double digits of thousands. And what can I do? I'm not going to let my backers not get their decks. So I sent it. I had good faith. I knew something was going to happen in the end. I got a message from the universe saying, this is crazy. I was so devastated. I go, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes to be really upset about this. 20 minutes is all I'm going to do. I gave myself 20 minutes. I cried. I got in the shower. I put on Justin Bieber really loud and I danced in the shower. And I came out and I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's going to work out. And it did work out. Like I got it back. I think they took like $200 from me for all the services. I'm like, that's it. I'll give you more back because you saved me. So these things are going to happen, but have faith and in the end, don't let your backers down. That's for me, the most important. Do not let the backers down because they are your supporters.
Absolutely.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Even if you lose money now, don't let them down. That's the number one.
They'll be back. Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony. Tony has a couple questions. Is it getting easier or harder to create, handle, and dispatch?
It's a 3-part question.
Right.
For me, creating's easy. You know, I have more ideas than I have time for. But handling and dispatch is the as creatives, that's not like the fun part. It's not like what you want to do. And if you don't have a partner that does that, and a lot of people do, like you have to, okay, now I'm going to be dispatcher. And it is more difficult with international deliveries going up by like a lot. And then at the same time that they're going up, the faith that it's going to get there is going down.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you to send a tarot deck, just a tarot deck to Australia or Japan is like $29.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what it costs you at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
So it's not like, we're making up these. That's exactly what it costs to send it. And then you still don't know. That's without any insurance, without anything added to it.
Yep.
And you still
without
don't know
the boxing, without the packaging, all that. Yeah.
Or any faith that it will get there. You get tracking, and then the tracking is not real time. It's not accurate. So it's that part is the most. That's getting tougher and tougher, I'd have to say.
It is. It's not for the faint of heart. This is not for the faint of heart. We have to have a full belief in that holistically that it's going to arrive. And thank God so far it's been fine. I mean, like I've said before, like some people I know I see on my end, it's there, it's in the post office. I'll send out another one. And I might have lost money on that person. And again, I signed up for that. And I'm going to lose the money. I'd rather lose the money than that person be unhappy.
Yes.
And so for us, that's worth it. But just know what you are, just prepare for all of this. And I don't know about you, Rick, but if I knew, I don't want to discourage anyone at all, but when we sit and think about all these little steps, this, if I knew back in March of 2020 or whatever, maybe I wouldn't have done it. I don't know. But is it gratifying? Yes. Was it worth it? 100%. Would I do it all over again? Yes. So don't let any of this discourage any of you. It's a process, and just live in that moment of that process, like that very moment. When you're in creation mode, live in creation mode. When you're in fulfillment mode, don't think about the fulfillment. Know what's ahead. Like don't be immune to what is to come. Like know that there's problems. 100% there's going to be
150%. I would say also one thing that was my biggest realization in the first Kickstarter was, because you get that the campaign ends, there's this big number or whatever the number is, like that's what you raised. Okay, that's what you raised, but there's a huge percentage of that actually you have to outlay in not only production but shipping.
Yep.
Forget that. So if you made $50,000 on a Kickstarter and it's costing you, I don't know, $20,000 to produce these, guess what? You're probably going to spend about $14,000 in shipping to actually.
Yes.
That's not it's not accounted for. So you have to realize that, like, okay, this isn't free money to play with. There's actually a little bit of profit here, but all that number includes whatever people paid for shipping, and now you actually have to pay for the shipping.
Yep. That's exactly right. Okay. Just to put it into perspective. And again, I'm not making these numbers up, and they were advertised. Seven did put it in their update, right? Do you remember? Did you read that? So I don't remember how much the campaign made. Let's say 1.2 million or 1.
Like that. Yeah. 1.3, I think. Yeah.
1.3 million.
1 point something. Yeah.
1 point, like in the millions, in the 1 million range. At the end of the day, what they took home, do you remember what that number was?
I don't, but it was shocking.
It was $70,000.
Yeah. Wow.
$70,000. 1 million. So look at that. You do the math of the ratio. And from that 70,000, now they promise they're going to do a podcast. They're going to, so in the end, mark my words, like they did not make even that, because now shipping is more expensive than what they had accounted for. Am I right? Yeah. Because that was a year ago.
Yeah.
And my deck just shipped. I just got a notice saying it just shipped. I'm excited to get it. And then, so shipping is more expensive. All these little things that they didn't, so that's the ratio. That's an extreme ratio. I'm not thinking of the math.
That's extreme. Yeah. But it's
extreme ratio, but still.
Don't look at the number when you see it and without subtracting a whole lot of money.
Right.
Right. Right, because you're still paying for the production, the shipping, and any other expenses that might pop up.
Yep.
Yep. No, that makes sense. I just realized, Rick, that it is 3:00 your time. So
I do have to run. I apologize.
No problem. And I know, Lisa, you're about to start a new.
What was that, Jonathan?
I'm
You're
going to
about
see you
to
guys
start
later.
your
Thank
Kickstarter?
you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Rick.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. So, I hear you're coming up with a Destiny Oracle.
Yes, I've been. I think that's why I've been so MIA. I've been in the thick of it, and yeah, I am. I'm really excited. I have them here actually. I have them with me, and this one comes with a booklet, so I'm so excited about it. In my first three, I was a stickler about not including the booklet with it because I just want it to be beautiful, and I wanted the same texture and printing and beautiful saturated colors and gold foil and things. And I've never received a booklet that came with a tarot deck that I've loved. But I finally was like, I'm just gonna splurge and I'm just gonna do it. So yeah, it comes with one, and it's really cool. I'm excited to have it out there.
I'm excited too. When does your Kickstarter go live?
It was supposed to be in April, beginning of April, but I've had some. I'm working on my house, and things came up, and all that.
I've been in a house forever.
So yeah, so it is ready to go up. I'm just waiting. I do. It's called an election chart. It's called in astrology. I always look at the right dates. So I create election charts for myself and my businesses or whatever I'm doing. Whatever I'm going to launch, I base it on the election chart. And so I'm looking at the perfect, there's no perfect date ever, but I do want certain aspects in the sky when I launch. And so I'm thinking in the next, like within 10 days, 10, 15 days. Yeah. Yeah. Was that your doggy?
Yeah, she's barking. She's a barker. Mimi. Hey. Mimi. You're busy scratching yourself now, of course. So I'm really excited to add another Lisa Santine deck to my collection.
Oh, thank you. It's here. I mean, I think you might have seen parts of it but
I saw some of the images on Instagram.
Yeah, so this doesn't have the gold foil because they just can't do that here. And then this is the booklet. This is what the back is kind of. Oh, is your puppy asking for you? This is what the back is going to look like. Oh, hi!
Mimi wanted to come say hi.
Oh my gosh!
Hi, Mimi. Can you say hi to Auntie?
I know. Wait, what kind of dog is Mimi?
Mimi is a mix of a Jack Russell and Dachshund, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Because I see Jack Russell in her. So yeah.
Yeah, she's interesting. Like we weren't really we had lost our dog about like a year and a half ago now, just over a year actually. And then in last, when was it? I think it was end of summer, must have been August. I get a call from one of my neighbors saying, "You guys are looking for a dog, right?" I'm like, "What? Yeah. What do you mean?" She started sending pictures and stuff. And her friend had been evicted and couldn't keep her dog, and called her on her way to the pound.
Oh no, that's devastating. Yeah.
Right. And my neighbor's like, "You are not doing that. You're gonna bring that dog over here and drop it off with John." So, so instead of going to the pound, she got dropped off at our house.
Oh, I know. When I pass by an adoption, I have to pass by like this because I literally want every one of those in my. And my poor kids are just like, "Oh my God," because I'll just go. I'm like, "I want you and you and you," and they get excited, and I'm like, "No, I can't do that to my kids." I can't Yeah.
It's good to have a dog again, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
and she's a good girl.
Oh, that's so.
Well, other than the deck that's coming up, do you have anything else coming up for you?
No, I think I'm just trying to, there's just like Rick said, like there's so many ideas and
Mhm.
and just one person. And so it's hard. It's hard to because I literally have a running list of, okay, this is my next one. And then I start to sketch those out. And then this is my other one, the one after that. And so there's a lot of ideas out there. It's just
Only so much time to do it
only so
in.
much time and only me. And then you have to really build up for the campaign. The campaign
Right.
it is a marathon. It's a lot of work.
Life consuming, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And I think the main thing is like what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. So if you put a little into it, you'll get a little out. If you really put all of yourself into it, then you will get. And you know what? Even if the campaign doesn't work out the first time, let's say, I hope nobody will get discouraged by that because there's a lot of amazing and beautiful projects out there that have not made it. And I hope those people will put them out again. I think a lot of the things is timing. Like
Right.
when is a good time? When is there a lull? Maybe the heart of the summer might not be the best time. Maybe right before summertime might be the best time. Maybe right after the holiday. Like there's certain times where there's lulls in Kickstarter, and I think you can look that up. You can do Google searches on that.
Mhm.
Another, here's another trick that I love. So there's a website called KickTrack, and you can actually track. Have you seen that?
Mhm.
Oh, it's called TRAQ. KICKTRAQ. Every single campaign out there is on that. For some reason, they have access. There's a little bit of a delay because I think it might be based in the UK or like somewhere in Europe.
Mhm.
But you see the trajectory of your campaign on there. And so like from day one, it shows like, okay, you've had X amount of sales. If you keep this up, then by this date, you're going to make X amount. So it's very interesting. So I will use that as a tool also. I'll go on to KickTrack and I'll say, oh, it looks like my numbers are going down because you'll see how many sales you've had and how many people backed out,
Oh,
like
right.
canceled.
Canceled. Mhm.
Yeah. So then so then I'll be like, oh, I need to put out an ad now because I'm seeing my numbers it's kind of like it's going to the apex and I want to continue that trajectory. So, and people go by those trajectories. Like if they see that there's numbers going down, then they're less like, or maybe there's some kind of algorithm. I don't exactly know, but not as many people will see the campaign. So that's another thing that I use as a tool. And the other thing is the middle of your campaign is going to be the slowest. The beginning and the end are going to be the most important
Right.
times.
That's when
And
the rushes come.
yeah, so like 3 days before the campaign ends, you want to just send out some updates because that's when the numbers go back up. So there's all these little things that
Little tips and tricks.
yeah.
I just noticed that Tony said it's a very beautiful, soft, feminine looking deck. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a perfect oracle to match this tarot.
Yeah, thank you. I know. I'm so excited. It's so me. It's like it really is from the heart. A lot of the messages I received while I was I get my messages when I'm around water, or funny enough when I'm like running, when I'm out and I'll stop and I'll write it down. And so like all these little
Oh, the sayings at the bottom.
Yeah, these are all from when like I said, from when I'm either around water or running. And so I'll
You're
write
in the
it
zone.
Yes, it's like meditation. So I'll write it down. It's all here. So I write it down in my note. These are all messages. I'll stop running and I'll just start writing in my phone. Isn't that funny?
Wow.
So this is where it all is from here. It's all.
Wow.
It's really cool how it happens.
Oh, it is.
And then I'll read it like 2 days later. I'm like, oh, I said that.
I wrote what now?
I wrote what now? Like that. It's so funny. So
I
yeah,
love that.
it's really cool how that happens. Yeah. So
Well, I'll
today
definitely be keeping an
Oh.
eye out for your Destiny Oracle.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I will be keeping an eye out on anything that you will be producing, I hope.
Yes, I do have one thing on make playing cards.
Playing cards?
My Hawaiian Lenormand.
What? You've never shown us this, or me. I don't know this.
You don't know this one? Yeah.
No.
I did a photographic Lenormand.
Oh my
The
God.
funny thing is the backs
Yeah.
was a random accidental pocket shot, and it just was so pretty that I just used it.
Oh my
So
God.
some of these pictures are not mine, but this
Wait.
is Apollo sitting on a giant anchor.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Wait.
Ocean,
Oh
dog
my
in the
God.
ocean. Rider is a surfer instead of on a horse, right?
Oh my God, that's
You know
amazing.
Lenormand? You know Lenormand, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I took
Look
this
at-
picture.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Stars.
Oh my gosh.
Sun. This is actually sunrise at Haleakala.
Oh my God. This isn't. Oh, I love that. Crossroads.
Crossroads.
This is amazing. Wait, why are you not producing this?
Well, because I put it on make playing cards. Because it was just my foray into deck creating, and it was just so I could say I made a deck.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten around to the like mass production of decks. That's why I put it on make playing cards, because it's
It's
print
really
on demand. So it's there for anyone who wants it. I'm not making any money off of it, but at least it's out there.
It's called making playing. I don't know.
You don't know make playing cards?
No.
I will send you the link.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, here. Oh, here. Blue Crescent Tarot. Okay. So making playing cards. Okay.
Oh, there.
Oh, there. Oh, it's
That's my little store.
So you don't make any money if anyone buys it?
Well, it's like I make like $3 or $4 per deck.
Okay. Right.
And they won't pay out until you reach a certain amount.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
I have not Laura. Eco Herbage card stuff. Huh. No idea. I haven't seen that one.
No.
Mine are a linen finish. I'm a big fan of linen. So as you can see the
Oh
linen.
yeah. I can see it. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
I know there's people who don't like linen. For me, I find linen is the best shuffler, and I actually kind of like that little like texture that gets added.
I love it.
It makes me feel like I'm looking at a painting, right?
Yeah, I know. I agree. I love it. I love it.
I know that there's certain people in the troll community who hate linen.
No,
nobody here. It looks like Laura says I love linen. Yeah, yes. It's like I love linen. I love that. So yeah, I do have one deck, and I have another one in my brain that's like I'm trying to figure out how it's going to work, because it's an oracle, but it's going to be more than an oracle, because it's an oracle meant to also be used in path working in a way.
Oh, I love that. Okay, honestly, like we should have a working Zoom meeting to get your stuff out there. Like I will work, I will talk, we'll do
Okay.
it together, and because you need to produce your stuff.
Yeah, I do.
And you need, oh, is it breaking up again? Oh,
No,
shoot.
you're okay. It breaks up on your end first before it breaks up for me. So
It's kind of breaking up. Oh,
okay.
shoot.
Well, we've been on for about an hour and 15. So we can end here if you're starting to break up. And thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you everyone who was watching and who's watching the replay. If you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get answers for you. So thank you, everyone, and until next time, aloha and hui ho.
Bye, everyone.